Hey guys, welcome back to the Six Borough Podcast. As always, we are brought to you by Made to Thrive, an American t-shirt company. You can find us on the internet, www.madetothrive.us. Powered by America, even on the fucking internet. On Instagram at madetothrive.us. We're also brought to you by Municipal Land Survey, 631-345-2658. If you have some pesky neighbors with an encroaching garden line or tree or whatever, and you need some solid proof that they're encroaching on your land, these are the people to call. Also brought to you by AS Engineering Services, 631-560-0259, or on the internet at asengineeringservices.com. Today's guest is Tommy Dejosia. Tommy's a personal friend of mine for many years. We get into some of that, but more than anything, Tommy's an incredibly talented photographer. He's a filmmaker. He's a jiu-jitsu practitioner of the Brazilian kind, and he's been working on some pretty interesting projects lately that we get into. One of them being the recent Trump rally in Patchogue, and we get into some pretty interesting topics, and it's a very entertaining podcast, so check it out, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, we're live. Let's get into it.
All right, yo, Six Borough Podcast, D-Rock.
Tommy D.
Restart that.
No, I think we should just keep going.
Just keep it rolling.
We'll keep going.
Okay.
Our guest today is Tommy Dejosia. Is that how you say it?
No, Dejosia. But
Dejosia. All right. We just call him Tommy D for short.
it's easier.
Poet,
Scholar,
producer,
photographer,
jiu-jitsuer,
Videographer.
hipster.
Anti-hipster, hipster. It's all good.
Tom from MySpace.
Fedora wearer.
Some people will get that reference. It's hilarious.
You are a fedora wearer, but why do you call him Tom from MySpace?
Oh, shit. Okay.
There was a pretty quick... We'll just talk about it real quick. There's a story where our friend Tony met Tommy for the first time, and he's like... They introduced him, said his name was Tom, wasn't wearing glasses, and he kind of looked like him at the time.
Yeah, do you remember Tom from MySpace's?
I do.
Picture?
Remember Tom from MySpace.
Tom, was wearing a white t-shirt and turned and...
Oh, the side view?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And Tony, in all his stupid wisdom, was like, is that Tom from MySpace?
Just a side note.
Had to whisper it.
I'm pretty sure I was wearing glasses, because I've been wearing glasses since I was 18. So...
Alright, so Tony's a fucking idiot.
It's alright.
Maybe you guys were
We
drunk.
love you, Tony.
But you did take him off, and you did that pose, and I was like, oh shit, it
is very valid. We did the analysis. It's valid.
We reenacted the situation.
So, Tommy, you're a pretty interesting guy. I know that you're real big into photography because you have a pretty badass Instagram.
Thanks, man.
It's really badass because there's a picture of me on it and it has 71 likes, which is more than like any of my pictures ever get of me on my own personal Instagram.
You also rock that camera around your neck like Flavor Flav rocks a clock.
Oh, yeah, I fucking do, man. It's vintage, man. It's fucking...
What camera is that, just so we can shout it out?
It's a Canon AE1. This was made in the 80s.
So were you.
Yeah, ironically, right? What's cool about this camera is that it was mass-produced back then, and there's a lot of them still available.
Still parts and things when you need them?
Yeah, and you could buy them fairly cheap, and they take great, quality pictures. 35 millimeter film. So I've been shooting color film recently.
Nice. I'm real into a lot of your pictures because every single time I see some of your work, it looks a little bit different. You're not just shooting from like the same vantage points or in the same, I guess, with the same filters. Is that the correct terminology?
Yeah. So most of these, most of the film, the 35 millimeter film, I don't do any touch-ups. I just take from the whatever comes from being developed. But the digital ones, I'll touch up a little bit.
Cool. Do you develop your own shots?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's the next process for me. Black and white's a little bit easier to develop. Mm-hmm. Colors, there's a little bit more shit involved there. So
Gotcha.
What kind of shit?
I don't know, like different chemical processes and shit like that. I don't know exactly, but the black and white, I have a couple of friends that may be teaching me, so I'm pretty stoked on that.
Nice.
So what? I mean, you're a Renaissance man. You were doing film. Now you're doing a lot more photography. What inspired you to start doing more photography over film? Because I mean, you went to film school.
Yeah.
You were writing. You were producing. You were doing a lot of different stuff. You kind of had a lot of different, irons in the fire. So why the change to photography now?
I mean, you've known me for quite some time, so
it's not. I don't want to tell people that. I'm just kidding.
This fucking guy,
Such a hater.
this
Dave.
fucking he's a hater, man.
I love this
Hater.
Hater. Nah, it's all good. Well, you've known me from when I was writing a lot of poetry and shit like that, screenplays, and then the evolution kind of went to film, creating movies or like videos online for the web.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of like business to business film editing, and shooting it. And
I still do that.
You did a short film.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. That was
right.
That was a process. So
what I mean is, what inspired the change now to photography?
So I got a job where one of my clients asked me if I can do photography, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I can do photography. I'm like, fuck, can I do photography?
You already sold yourself, or you were fucking down that road.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I took a week out. I actually subcontracted another photographer as the lead photographer, just in case. And I subcontracted a great photographer, Texas Isaiah. He's amazing. So I went out for a week, shot, because I had the equipment. I went and shot, and I'm like, shit, I actually have a perspective here. I'm like, all right, I'm going to continue doing this. The editing process is way easier than video or film because it's less time consuming.
So basically, you're doing this because you're lazy.
Well, that too, but it's actually part laziness and part fucking memory on my fucking laptop. So
right on.
So that'll happen. No, but photography, I actually fell in love with it. It's a little bit easier process in the post-production realm, but I feel like it's a little bit easier to get out there. You go by yourself and shit. You don't need a crew. You don't need a crew. It's just yourself.
So it's easier inspiration.
I'm inspired by it all, man. Fucking
not that you're not inspired by everything, but what I mean is like it's easier for you to, I guess, realize that inspiration. It's a quicker.
Yeah, it's quicker.
It's a quicker payoff.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, it's more immediate.
Right.
That's definitely a good point. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, that's a shot. They're looking at a shot of Eric and Skanga. I caught them in a candid moment.
That's a great picture.
I can see the love between the two.
That might be the happiest anybody's ever seen Eric.
Platonic.
I don't think you've ever smiled like that ever.
That's right after Skanga told a joke. Because Skanga is one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Skanga is great. We're missing Skanga tonight. He's stuck at work right now.
He's going to be upset that he missed Tommy D.
He'll probably stumble in here drunk in about an hour. So
nice. Yeah, so it's kind of the fucking process,
This is the more accurate Eric Ott.
Yeah, there we go. I'm showing off my middle finger stump.
AKA stylus.
My stylus that I use to hit those small buttons on the iPod and the cell phone, or the iPad rather. And Tommy was able to capture a real great photograph of it. It's up on his Instagram. Did I put that one up? I don't know. I had another.
I think you did.
Did I?
I think you did, yeah.
I was going to say, my grandmother's probably like real upset with me and my mom. Why do you keep putting up pictures of you giving the middle finger?
That was funny shit.
So that's how I feel about the world. That's why, Grandma. Sorry.
So, explain to people who don't know you how you ended up here. Because when I first met you, you were an aspiring screenwriter.
Yeah.
And then you went to school for it. You went to the New School with a couple of our other close friends.
New York Film Academy and then the New School, yeah. So I went to New York Film Academy with Matt Kropp and Dave Sorensen.
Yeah, I just meant you went to school for it. I didn't mean the New School in particular, but you can get into
it.
Yeah,
went to
both.
Yes.
So explain your journey artistically through all these different genres to where you are now.
My journey was fucking crazy. It still is crazy. So yeah, I started out fucking like anyone else. 18, young, dumb,
full of cum.
Yeah. Aspiring artist.
or film, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so
Same thing.
I actually got in it through reading a lot, literature, and obviously watching fucking movies and TV and whatnot. Growing up, watch a ton of that. So I knew fairly early that I wanted to write screenplays, and my first screenplay that I actually finished writing, I was 19 years old in the blackout of 2003. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah.
I had my laptop, and I was finishing up my script during that blackout, and I actually finished it. So I was 19 years old. The script was shit, but I was inspired by the movie Kids, written by Harmony Korine, and he was 19 years old at the time when he wrote that. So I'm like, if that motherfucker can write that, I can write this. Little did I know that he was a sick writer at the time, and he was also good friends with Larry Clark, I think it was, who directed the film. So obviously his career path kind of jolted. So from that point on, I kind of knew I had a knack for writing. I was writing all the time, keeping journals, just like little, writing little blurbs and shit every day. Then I met Matt Kropp at a party. I think that you were at that party.
More than likely, probably.
Mastic or some shit.
Oh, yeah.
You actually introduced me to
I know
him.
exactly what party you're talking about, too.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I met my buddy Matt Kropp, and actually Dave Sorensen I met around that time, too.
Okay.
And they were both going to the New York Film Academy, and I was looking at that school, I think, a year prior.
Were they already enrolled?
They were.
Or
They
they
were
were
about to
planning
enroll.
to?
They were planning to,
Okay.
and I was looking at that school a year prior. So that summer, I was connecting with them a lot, and I just pulled the trigger, and I actually applied, and I got in. So we all got in, and then I ended up moving in with Matt Kropp into Brooklyn, and Dave moved into Bensonhurst.
And this was about 10 years ago, right?
It is fucking 10 years ago, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, I went to New York Film Academy, studied screenwriting there. Then I transferred to the new school, graduated there.
Now, what's the new school? New York Film Academy is obviously
It's
self-explanatory. So what's
yeah.
the new school?
So the new school's
Because when you say new school, I think of...
New School Sport and Skate.
Yeah.
skate shop, skate shop,
Sayville, New York.
Yeah.
the skate shop. Yeah,
I think half pipes and, Mike Lent
yeah, exactly.
and skateboarding.
You mean you can't get a degree there?
You probably
Apparently you
man.
can.
The new school is just a well-known kind of like art school. Just like a school for like, there's a lot of thinkers or some shit, philosophy and shit. A lot of people come out of that, but yeah. So I started creative writing there. So I kind of had a good storytelling background. So with that, I kind of hustled a little bit and did some things and was able to get my hands on equipment.
What kind of things?
I can't really talk about that.
You had to suck a couple dicks?
No, nothing fucking.
He's a handyman.
Nothing like that.
Pool boy on Fire Island type stuff.
Yeah. These fucking guys. I'm joking.
If you don't get the reference, listen to our last podcast with Chandra, and you'll get it.
Tommy's out there giving out that 2 great hand jobs.
Oh God. I don't even want to know.
HJ?
Hey, man.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
So, all right, you had to do a couple things to get some equipment.
Things and stuff.
I need to stuff. Got my equipment.
Well, don't degrade things and stuff like that.
How dare I?
Yeah.
I'll do it for you.
All right, go on. I'm sorry. We got
Nah,
off track
okay.
making fun of you.
Yeah, this fucking guy. This fucking guy right here. Yeah, so started just shooting after that, man. Just started doing business to business work. And then the whole short film came about. So
Which short film?
yeah, so I ended up writing and directing and co-producing a short film that took a year to fucking produce, but
Are you talking about this most current one right now?
yeah, the one I just finished.
All right, so you just glossed over about a hefty 6 years to get to that, though. So
Yeah.
He did a lot of stuff that he didn't want to talk about.
how many hand jobs did you give out to get to?
Seriously.
It's just a river of dicks to get to that short story.
Something we want to talk about off air, okay?
I'm not obligated to talk about that.
Because I know you, so I know you didn't graduate new school and go right into this film.
No,
so.
sorry, I kind of was all.
Or those the dark years you don't want to talk about.
Those were fucking definitely dark years, that's for sure. No, but I kind of
I just surviving odds and ends.
Yeah, I was working. I worked with our buddy friend Will, his dad, for a little bit, doing production assistant work at Silver Cup Studios. I worked at a theater company. I worked, freelance in video production, and through that I made connections, and the connections I made were actually valuable connections. I got hired to be a camera operator on a TV pilot for this guy Kreskin. I'm not sure. He was like a 1970s kind of
the amazing Kreskin, like
yes.
the fucking
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
how did you know that?
He's pretty famous.
He's pretty famous, but
Yeah.
I have like a fucking wealth of useless knowledge.
Yeah. He was pretty famous back in like the 70s, 80s, or whatever. So
Can
we did
Google this guy? Who's
amazing Kreskin, man. So it was a TV pilot for that.
I like how you spelled that THA.
Yeah. Listen,
amazing.
Listen,
Amazing
the
Kreskin.
keyboard's on my fucking lap, and it's not the easiest thing to do right now.
All right, so go on while you're Googling.
Yeah. So I got hired to be a camera op on.
He sort of looks like Milton Berle a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of does.
Tommy, I feel like this guy's what you're going to look like.
Yeah, that's exactly who you're going to be
Oh
when you
my
grow
god,
up.
please.
You're like looking right into the future here.
Yeah, that's not true.
I don't know, man.
Not true.
Your glasses are just not as thick.
Yeah, but he's fucking weird as shit.
So are you.
Yeah, but he's like nerdier.
He actually changed his last name from Kresge to Kreskin.
I wonder why.
It's strange.
So we have to change your name.
Yeah,
Spielberg.
to Tommy Dejosia.
Tommy Spielberg, that's right.
Tommy Dejosia, not Dejosia.
You go to Spielberg over Cameron?
Yeah, no, that's what people call me at Jiu-Jitsu. Tommy Spielberg.
Yeah, that's his nickname at Vamos.
You do make really great videos.
Thanks, man. So I got hired on this. Pilot, and
Did he read your mind while you were filming?
Yeah.
no, he read other people's minds, and it was actually pretty fucking wild, man, because girls were crying and shit that he like put under his little spell.
Oh, so he hypnotizes
dude,
them too?
It was fucking
I'm
weird,
real into
man.
hypnotists.
Like she was freaking out.
It's funny, like, because it says mentalist. So the company that I work for just had a 25th anniversary party a few weeks back. We were at this place in Rockefeller Center, and they hired entertainment. So they had like these girls walking around with like blackjack tables and shit like that. But one of the people that they hired was this guy. He was a mentalist. Mm-hmm. And it was some of the weirdest shit that I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
Like, he would walk up to, some of my coworkers, and they'd be like, all right, I want you to think of a number. Don't tell anybody. Think of a number, not your lucky number, not anything, And then he'd say kind of like this little story type thing. And as he's saying it, he'd write down a number in his head, write down a number on his pad, scratch it out, write down another number, scratch it out, write down another number. And then he showed it to one of my other coworkers. Now, they're, 4 or 5 feet away from this guy. And he shows my coworker the number, and then he goes, okay, what number did you think of? And I don't remember what the number was. It was like 26 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that was the number he wrote down. He had written down this fucking number, this number 26. And she was like, I was going to pick this number, but I stopped and thought about it. I wanted to do something like outside the box.
Right.
And somehow he wrote down this number.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walked over to another one of my coworkers, and he's like, "All right, I want you to close your eyes, and I'm gonna touch you, and then I want you to tell everyone where I'm touching you." So we're like, "All right, that's weird. It's kind of easy. You could touch her, whatever." So she closes her eyes. He like rubs his hands like around her hand, never even touched her, and then walks away 6-7 feet away from her. Grabs one of my other coworkers. Touches his hand in 2 different places, and then he goes, "Okay, open your eyes. Where did I touch you?" And she points on her hand where he touched my coworker.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. It was fucking super weird.
Very similar to this guy, man.
It was one of the most bizarre things, and she's like swearing. She's like, "Oh, he must have had something like on his sleeve because his hands were away." We're like, "No, Marianne, he wasn't anywhere near you. He was like literally 7 feet away from you. He wasn't. She's like, no. He must have, when he was, hovering above my hands, he must have had something that was touching. Like, unless he's got a fucking 7-foot wingspan,
Yeah.
he didn't touch you.
7 foot
All I
reach.
can think of from the story is how perfect of a pickup line this is.
This dude must run through ass like no one's business. He's like,
You thought I
though.
touched your hand from 7 feet away. Imagine what I can do up close and personal.
if he's imprinting numbers in people's heads and shit, he's like, no, yeah, you don't want to sleep with me. You don't want to take your pants off. Oh, no, we're not having a foursome? How many girls are in this place right now? All right, let's go.
You're all coming home with me.
You're all coming home. You have no choice.
I'm like a real big skeptic whenever it comes to any of this stuff. And most of the guys that do this and are real successful, they'll just say like, yeah, I'm just really good at parlor tricks. Or they'll describe it that way, like the honest ones. Like, yeah, there's like no such thing as magic, and there is a way that I could explain that I do this, but I'm not going to do that. And I sort of appreciate those types.
Well, I'm big into, like, I'm a skeptic too, and there's a guy out there called James Randi, and he's a mentalist or, a magician or whatever. And then basically there's a lot of these people. Listen, I'm not a psychic. I don't have any special powers, but it's a very elaborate game that they're playing that they know very well.
And it probably started way before the person actually even thought that the game had started.
Yeah, there's like
point.
subtle cues that people give off to you, and it's the same thing that these people do. These people who
the John Edwards types.
who
I don't
represent-
even want to get into those types of people.
It's all a con, and there's people who misrepresent the con. At least these guys tell you, listen, I'm just good at what I do. It's a con. I'm conning you. I'm not going to tell you how I do it, but I don't have any special powers.
Like a magician.
You're
of
talking
some
all
sort.
about the amazing Randy. I recently saw a documentary on him.
Yeah.
That's on. I guess it might be on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the same one, and then he was also in another one called Merchants of Doubt.
Merchants of Doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the one that when the make pretend psychics fooled the scholars and the scientists from Princeton or Yale or one of the major universities,
He debunked them.
He's the one that debunked them and proved them all wrong, making the scientists angry at him.
Right.
Because they felt he essentially made them feel incompetent.
He's had the same bet out for like over 30 years now that if you can prove your psychic abilities under scientific conditions, he'll give you $1 million.
Really?
And nobody will take him up.
Yeah,
There's
right there, man.
There's a
Right
lot of
there.
people.
That's funny.
There's a lot of people out there who are upfront with you that I don't possess psychic powers, and it's just all a trick, and they're upfront about that. But then there's people out there, like you said, like these fake psychics who they're doing the same tricks but try to tell you and
That
make
they're
you believe
speaking with the paranormal, and
they
you're
have
paying
some
them
extra ability.
You're paying them thousands of dollars to talk to a loved
Oh,
one.
fucking bullshit.
Well, right. Like this guy, even he would say, he's like, sometimes it doesn't work. A lot of times it does, but sometimes it doesn't. But even to be able to do that, whether it's power of suggestion or whatever it may be, he did. Numbers. Think of a name that you never think of, like not like your kid's name or something like that. Like but even these are just random people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's. You'd always kind of tell like a little bit of a story. So maybe it's a story that most people kind of have imprinted in their head that could relate to, right? But it was just weird. Those were. Obviously power of suggestion with the number and the name and things like that. Mm-hmm. But the real weird, that one with the hands, like, and touching,
it's a technique.
It was fucking really weird. Like
at the end of the day, though, it's all like I've heard James Randi talk about it.
Sure,
they have very elaborate techniques that they study like anything else, and you hone these techniques.
And when you spend all of your time focusing on them for weeks, months, hours and hours and hours, you're going to be so good. Like some of those card trick guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You look at those card trick guys, and they're doing magic as far as I'm concerned.
It is magic.
I can't replicate that, not without thousands of hours worth of practice.
It's the same way I look at martial arts or jiu-jitsu. It's a technique that you have to sharpen, and to the untrained eye, if you look at jiu-jitsu, if you've never done jiu-jitsu, you look at jiu-jitsu, you don't understand it, and it looks like magic almost sometimes, like real fancy techniques. And if you didn't understand it, you wouldn't know how anybody pulls it off. So it's the same thing. It's just a technique that you have to train and hone. And
Right,
it is magic as far as I'm concerned because I can't do it.
Right, breaking boards, breaking bricks, like fucking laying on a bed of nails. It's
Right.
like it's all those type of things that aren't really magic, but
Or even
everyone
those
can do
monks,
it.
the monks that cool off the the soaking wet sheets with body heat. You know, it's like the average person can't do that. But if you
Practice
train
it
that
enough,
ability, and it seems like something supernatural, or like Wim Hof.
Yeah, the
the
breathing
guy,
guy,
yeah.
you know, but that's just a lifetime of practice.
Yeah.
And if somebody else dedicated their time to it, you could do it. It just seems like impossible to do because you're not willing to dedicate the time to it.
I like some of Wim Hof's breathing stuff. It makes
It
you. I
works.
feel like it makes you feel better, and I mean, feeling better is half the battle when
Yeah.
you're trying to fix something.
Is that the Iceman? Is that
Yes.
the
Yeah,
Yep.
I've been applying his breathing techniques to the headaches I get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
So
one
you're
of-
just
has it been
sending
working?
blood up to your head.
yeah, so one of the treatments for I get what's called cluster headaches. And cluster headaches are, and I'm not making this up. Anybody out there, Google the cluster headache. It is the most painful medical condition known to man. Known to
Do you think
science.
that has something to do with being punched in the head and shit?
No,
from-
because it started before all
I was
that.
gonna say
Okay.
you got them way before.
Yeah,
you
I got
were
them before I
punching
ever
it.
started training, and
Okay.
I even asked the neurologist about it. But one of the treatments is oxygen. They prescribe you an oxygen tank, and you breathe in pure oxygen, and within 20 minutes it relieves it. So when I found that out, I started doing breathing techniques, like yoga techniques that I learned, and it does help to a certain degree. But now I've been doing some of the Wim Hof techniques daily, and not that I'm very superstitious, but whatever, knock on wood here.
That's my wood, don't I?
knock on this beautiful fucking table that Yarborough
Dude, pull
built.
your wood out. I'll knock on that bitch right now. I'll do it, dude. Listen, to not get a headache, I'll do some disgusting.
Has it been working though? It's been working.
You'll do the same shit Tommy did to get his fucking equipment.
I'll take it a step further. I'll take it a step further. You can turn me into a fucking pincushion if you tell me I never get a headache again. But yeah, it has been working. And now I'm not going to say it's just the breathing techniques because I did undergo some treatments last year for him, and the headaches, they're called clusters for a reason because I'll go 7, 8, 9 months without a headache, and then I'll get, they'll come where I'll get one every day for a month or whatever. But the longest I'd ever gone without a headache has been 10 months.
Does it feel like a stress headache? What does it feel like? Like, does it feel like tension on your head, or is
It's-
it more like behind the eye sort of headache?
It's always the same. I don't want to get into a whole big discussion on this, but it's always the same kind of headache. It's always on the left side of my head. My left eye will start tearing,
really.
swelling, sometimes completely shut. My sinuses start going. I'll get the trembles, the shakes. I'll vomit. I'll fucking start diarrheaing sometimes, as gross as that sounds. But my whole nervous system gets thrown out of whack, and it's the worst thing I've ever experienced. It's as close to dying as you can get without dying. I sometimes think I might die.
If you're
I'm
in
not
Venice,
even
that's no big
exaggerating.
deal.
What?
If you're in Venice, that's no big deal.
Yeah, you can just shit your pants in
Shit your
Venice.
pants.
That's a reference to the Rogan podcast.
Shout out to Big Brown.
Yeah. But I've been applying some of Wim Hof's breathing techniques just on the daily, even without some of the headaches. And I'm coming up on about the 10-month mark, where now it's about the time for me to start another cluster. Now, I've been getting the last couple weeks the beginning stages of what it feels like when these headaches come on. And I started doing some of these breathing techniques, and the headache never fully comes on.
That's interesting.
So the
I wonder if
breathing
it's a psychological
techniques,
thing.
they've helped you thwart, I guess, the full bore cluster headache.
I'm not going to attribute it only to that.
All right, you said you had some treatments.
I had some treatment last year for it that I believe has probably helped as well. But I do believe it's been helping, yes, because even Tuesday night, I felt like I was starting to get one, and it had gotten worse than it has lately, where my eye was starting to swell, and it felt like it was going to come fully on. I excused myself for about 10-15 minutes, and I started doing those breathing techniques, and it fucking went away.
Interesting.
So
So
there's
it's
definitely
powerful.
something to it. Yeah, because it's delivering that oxygen to your brain. And like I said, one of the treatments that they prescribe to you is an oxygen tank where you breathe in pure oxygen and it helps. So, yeah, there's definitely something to it.
What about like the float tank? Have you ever tried that or anything?
I've done I've floated 2 times so far.
And did you see any sort of...
Nothing super
Changes.
crazy, just the start of it, because it takes a little while to get comfortable.
Oh,
You
and
know, you got to get
floating?
comfortable. Yeah. But I haven't done
wanna
one
try
with a
that.
headache. I was just talking to Chris before we started about maybe going next week.
I'll
Yo,
go.
let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Let me
a
know,
place
I
in
wanna
Deer
do it.
Park.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I went there
float
one
place or
time.
some shit?
Yeah, I went once there. And I think he's the same guy who had the place in Farmingville originally, where I went the one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
My buddy Corey.
Corey, I
Bloom.
was talking to Corey about that.
Yeah,
Actually.
this was like 2 years ago, and that's when I went the first time. But all right, so anyway, we got off on a little bit tangent here.
It's all
so
good.
So back to your journey of giving out hand jobs to get to taking pictures.
to getting making films happen.
Are you going to start like taking photos of the guys you jerk off? Like, is that going to be a thing?
Everyone's
Your
gonna be like,
subjects?
this guy Tommy D is fucking whacking and jerking people off. This is all not true.
And it might get you more business. You never know. There's a whole subculture out there, maybe.
I'm sure there is. I bet they have an app now, so you'll be able to find them like real quick.
What is it, like Hander instead of Grinder?
That's a new app. You're gonna sell that.
You got to, instead of swiping left or right, you got a high five. Yeah, that's your connection.
Tommy's gonna be the official photographer of Cherry Grove this summer.
Oh God, they want to pay me 1.5 million, baby.
Oh,
not happening.
Yeah, I would do it. I would go photograph. It would be wild. You're gonna hook up with mad girls because all the girls there will be like.
I don't know about that, man.
There's lots of dudes.
I walked through there once and I was like, I gotta get out of there.
I went to a couple parties there, and the girls, once they like knew you were straight, they were real into you because you're only like less than like 0.5% of the total like men in the whole island.
That's true.
I bounced over there a couple times.
Have you?
Yeah, and
Sometimes the women go topless.
Yeah, I got paid a lot.
Yeah,
and I got bought a lot of drinks by guys, but always hit on my girls.
I feel like you guys are trying to persuade me to go shoot over there this summer. I'm fucking good.
It could be real lucrative.
I'll be in the city this summer.
Yeah, it could be very lucrative for you, and not for nothing, man. Maybe you'll get some of these chicks. They might Titanic you. Take my picture like those French girls.
Nah, I'm good, man. Back to the fucking evolution of film over here.
This is the evolution of your film.
Yeah.
So I see that you covered the Donald Trump rally in Patchogue, which was about maybe 3 weeks to a month ago.
About 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
Gotcha. What were you capturing down there? I see lots of protesters.
That was interesting. Yeah.
People both for and against.
Yeah, there was a ton of Trump supporters at first.
Okay, so it began with the Trump supporters. That they weren't people that were going to the rally. They were just people that were there to cheer.
Well, there were people there that were going to see Trump.
Okay.
I think there was like 1,300 people to go inside Emporium.
Gotcha.
And there were all walks of life, those Trump fans. It was very interesting to see that. I saw people from... this guy was selling masks and Trump shirts and shit. He was from...
Trump masks?
Trump masks, Trump shirts. He was
You
from...
fucked up not getting one.
Fuck that shit.
Just for fun.
Dude.
Doesn't mean you support him, but it's funny to have a Trump
I
mask.
support that motherfucker. I'm good.
You know where Tommy stands.
Nah, it's all good.
So-
Not made this political or anything, but
So what did you see down there? There were a lot of people supporting Trump. You mentioned initially.
yeah. So I try to be objective, and whatever my thoughts are on whoever, I try to be objective shooting. So I shot a lot of Trump supporters, and I shot a lot of the protesters. So there was this guy from St. Louis who was selling all his shit. There was two people.
So he traveled here from St. Louis, Missouri.
He's been on the campaign trail since January.
So he just drives with his like car and
all
goes
over the fucking place.
So he's
Yeah.
just making a business out of this.
Exactly, and two guys from Virginia too. Same thing across the street by.
So these guys
Ocean.
have made like pop-up businesses out of this.
Boom! They're making mad money,
all cash.
all cash, all that shit.
That's
yeah.
pretty smart.
Yeah, so there were two guys from Virginia doing that. There was a guy from St. Louis doing that. And then there were obviously a lot of Trump supporters, a lot of people who were animate about building the wall. I've heard, that's what I was listening.
Really? So people are really into that?
People are really fucking into that.
It's really bizarre. I feel like 10 years ago it would have had a lot more steam. And that's why I got a kick out of it sort of when I heard about it this election. Oh, we're going to build a wall. And I'm thinking now at this point, I mean, I feel like the illegal immigration, at least here in New York, is sort of stagnant. They aren't really. You don't really. I'm not really seeing like a tremendous increase anymore. And those, what were they called, the Mexican houses, or you know what I'm talking about, where there would be
a
like
couple years ago in Farmingville.
Yeah,
there was like a big thing about all the like
Well, it was a problem because there would be like 50 men living in a house that
in the
was
woods somewhere. Yeah.
like a 3-bedroom house, and there would be 50 people living in it, sleeping in shifts. and cars on the front lawn, and every block had several of them.
Well, it was a big deal in Farmingville a couple,
it's not really a topic now,
8
though.
to 10 years ago, probably.
People were protesting. They used to protest in front of the 7-Eleven in Farmingville.
Yeah, right there on
there was that
Horseblock Road.
Yep.
There was a case where the kids killed that dude.
Yeah, so
Patchogue.
that was a big thing actually.
But I think that was
going on because of that.
That was after that whole thing in Farmingville, though, I believe.
It wasn't that.
It was in 2008 when that happened.
Yeah,
the Farmingville thing, I think, was a little bit.
It was a
before
little
that.
earlier, but it wasn't that far off. Where
And what happened? What was the story with that?
There was a vigil down there on this. It was on the same street that the Emporium was.
Yeah, I heard somebody had gotten killed a long time ago, but it was like a racial beating, I guess.
It was. It was a hate crime.
A hate crime.
Yeah.
And what happened? A bunch of guys were like, "Oh, we're gonna kill a Mexican guy."
They killed. It was I think
kids.
They were just like out of high school.
Yeah, they might even still be.
They might have been.
School.
Yeah, like seniors.
Really?
clearly
I guess
deplorable
apparently-
actions, but it was deplorable actions. But it was. I think the controversy. And the media picked this up too. The controversy was that Trump was coming because of his,
his divisive stance on illegal
race,
immigration.
exactly.
Yeah, and the guy who got killed was an illegal immigrant.
And he was on the same street. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he's illegal or not. I'm not too positive.
I'm not positive either,
So
but
I
I
don't wanna
remember this happening, and it was like a big deal in Patchogue, and there was a bunch of high school kids who were dumb.
They were just being jerk offs.
They were being
type
young
of
kids,
thing.
and it was a game to them to go. Apparently, and I could be wrong here, but apparently, what I remember reading is that it was like a game to them to go out and beat up, Mexicans.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think
and
it was.
I don't know if this if their victim was actually really illegal or not.
I think it was
but-
El Salvadorian.
But the media picked up on this years later after the fact, after Trump made all those stupid comments and tried to
ran with
relate him coming to a place of a hate crime.
So they're just
as
looking
part
for
of his political agenda.
So they're just looking at it as a controversy. Like, I know the real reason he ended up there, and it's because people involved at the Emporium were real big Trump supporters and hooked up politically, and they volunteered and invited that to happen at their facility.
Well, not only that, you're going to make money off of it, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I
Well,
think they charged $100 a head.
$100 a head, which probably all went to the Trump campaign, and then they were going to make money off the booze.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it wasn't even a money thing with these guys. They're just big Trump supporters.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's what it all boils
I think
down
they're going to do something like with the Republican. I don't know, with the Suffolk County Republicans.
Yeah, because they're hooked. They're members and friends
Right.
with the Republican Party, and what do you do when you have a big venue? You volunteer it for their use, so that you can raise funds for them, and in turn, you'll get some favors down the road thrown back at you.
Well, the media made it a way bigger deal than it needed to be, trying to relate it, to something that happened in 2008. 8 years later, that's why Trump came here. And it's like, listen, I'm not a Trump supporter.
Right.
I'm not a political supporter in it by any means, but it's the media. That's what the media does. The media is going to try and latch onto anything to make it a fucking story.
They probably hooked up with people that knew him and interviewed them because it's good for ratings and stuff like that.
Clickbait bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, stirring the pot is good for that. So listen, I don't know. I don't remember enough about what happened essentially in that case, but really, they tried to. I remember reading an article.
It's unapplicable to the situation, but they were just trying to make something out of nothing.
Right. And I think it's kind of deplorable on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? Like, what happened was terrible, and it's even worse to the media looking to exploit that now down the road. Like,
It looks bad on the media's part, or it should, but
and it makes Patchogue look like shit too.
And Patchogue is so awesome. It's such a great place now. I've said a couple of times, I went to college in Patchogue over 10 years ago, and we used to drive through the entire town down the main street to the far edge of town to a hero place that was like on the outskirts. Yeah, TJ's Heroes.
So good.
To eat, they have great food.
Yeah.
But now in Patchogue, there's probably 24 places in those empty storefronts that we used to drive by every day. It was a ghost town. The place was a shithole dump.
There's nothing. There was
Nothing
the
there.
Brickhouse Brewery, and that was it.
And Goodfellas.
I remember even
that.
Goodfellas was when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And that was
one of those like terrible clubs that you go to drink at when you're 16, and they'll serve you booze, and if the police come, you run out the back door. That type of place.
I can't tell you how many times I got into fights at that place.
Really?
Almost never because of me, but because of one of our friends and also one of our friends' brothers.
Right, who was a little bit infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he ran with like one of those older street gangs back in the day.
Yeah.
That were pretty infamous back in the 90s. Yeah. But that's the thing, and that's why I took exception to that whole thing. Like I said, I don't have a dog in the race with politics. I don't care much for the political game, but I thought it kind of made Patchogue look shitty, and Patchogue's come a real long way. And I'm pretty proud of what Patchogue's become. You know, it's like growing up here, like you said, there was nothing here. It was a
but
shithole.
you know what was good about this was that I've never seen Patchogue or Long Island be this democratic. And we do live in a democracy. People were definitely voicing their opinions on the street. Like, you literally had people arguing on the street. Not physical. It was just all verbal. They're trying to tell their points. And then you had protesters on... You had protesters on, like, the brick house side. And then you had supporters of Trump on the, like, barbecue side. And you had the street blocked off with the cops. And you saw one side, you know, shouting to the other side and, like, arguing... But I thought it was an interesting display of democracy that I've never seen on the island or firsthand. You know?
I don't know if I would call that a display of democracy.
No, it definitely is, though. It's people out supporting what they believe in.
Yeah.
Which people here don't really believe in anything because, historically speaking, I don't think any candidates have ever come to Long Island at any point during an election.
You might have a point on that.
No, just because... There's no reason to, because Long Island has always been a Democrat. We're Democrats.
Well, New York has
because
been
we're New York. We're a
state,
Democratic state, and everyone's just like, oh, let's go to the Democrats. But now with Donald Trump running, who's a native New Yorker, who was actually talked down about during the early part of the election. I guess Ted Cruz was like, oh, he's a New Yorker. Oh, you know those New Yorkers and their values. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, like we became a big state in the primary. And it seems like we might be a big state in the general election as well because, well, Hillary is technically a carpetbagger from New York that had a Senate seat here, but Donald Trump is a New Yorker, so this might be the first time within our lifetime.
Two New Yorkers.
Well, not only two New Yorkers, but a Republican candidate may win the state of New York overall.
Yeah, it's very interesting. From what I just saw, from what I saw down there, just trying to be objective, I saw a ton of Trump supporters, and I saw a ton of Bernie Sanders supporters, and I saw maybe a sprinkle, like one or two Hillary Clinton supporters.
They were probably paid by her somehow.
Yeah,
I'm sure a bunch of them were paid by Trump too.
Sure. I don't know.
I don't know if he's paying people. I mean,
he's definitely paying people.
Where would he?
He's paying people to protest against him.
I'm sure. Well, that's another thing that I sort of suspected might be happening. He might be amping people up to 100%. Sort of draw the fanfare as well.
100%.
But if he is,
he's no dummy. The things he's saying sound stupid, but I don't think he's dumb by any means. He's
a business person. You know, a business person wants a return on investment. If he's coming out all that money, he wants to see an ROI, right?
I don't think so. I don't think he's in it for that. I think he's in it to legitimately wants to and thinks he's going to make it better here. I mean, he's a guy who's been bribing politicians his entire life to get his construction projects up and going. And, I mean, I highly doubt that he's thinking, oh, I want to be on the other end and collect some of those bribes, because those bribes aren't like $1 billion or millions and millions of dollars. They're a couple $100,000.
Yeah, but his company will build the wall, and he'll profit tremendously off of that.
See, I don't see that happening at all.
I'm not going to pretend to speculate about what his motives are, but what I do know is that he's not dumb. And
he's not dumb.
He knows how to generate
publicity
and reaction.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. He is all over the media. He knows how to work the media. Right. He's smart in that respect.
I don't know what his real political ambitions are, but I do know he's not dumb, and what he's doing
stirring the pot.
Into the office.
Exactly.
To get into the office, and he may turn around and go, that was all a fucking act. I mean,
he could be trolling everybody.
Yeah, he could do that tomorrow because he's essentially won the primary.
Yeah, as of today, basically.
He did. I think Ted Cruz and Kasich dropped out.
And people have to remember that don't really know a lot about the political process, and especially if you're not a Republican. Like, I grew up in a family of Republicans, and there's a lot of Republicans from the middle of the country that are fucking ridiculous. Utterly fucking ridiculous. I was at a party a month ago, and I had the nicest 70-year-old lady well, Trump came up and politics came up, and she didn't like Trump. She liked Marco Rubio or whatever. And then she said, anybody is better than the Antichrist who we have in there right now. And I sort of like gave her a look, because I've heard before, like in passing, people say, "Oh, Obama's the Antichrist," but like I've never met somebody in real life who actually believed it. Right. And this lady's like, "No, I really believe that." And she was like a very religious, very old school. I mean, in her 70s. I mean, but I just couldn't believe. I said, "Wow, this is one of those people."
I can't wait to be that crazy.
Like, we're already on that. Just say whatever I want. But I couldn't believe that I met somebody that actually was going to like outwardly say, "I really believe Obama is the Antichrist." Yeah. And you got to remember that Trump had to say things to appeal to these people, and maybe build a fucking wall. We're going to build it up, and talking disparagingly about all of the other people and what are their negative attributes. Maybe that's all just part of a shtick, because he needed a good portion of America that we would constitute as like fucked up in the head, basically. Yeah. These super right-wing crazy people that don't really like minorities because they've never met them, but all they know is they lost their job, and now
I feel that it's demonizing just like the immigration population. I feel like they're just he was trying to demonize that and capitalize off of that.
Well, he was trying to get votes.
That's exactly it.
And if he didn't do that, he wouldn't be here today. And that's what he's doing. He's getting a job done, and that's not even a word. Regardless of how he gets there, it doesn't make a difference. He needs to get that. If he doesn't get that initial nomination for the Republican Party, then anything after that is irrelevant, because there's nothing left.
In my opinion, his whole campaign idea is Machiavellian. Yep. The ends justify the means.
The ends justify the means, and I'm going to troll the shit out of everyone. Right. Did you see the picture he put up
today
on
Cinco
Facebook?
de Mayo? Yeah,
of him eating some tacos.
Yeah, and it's like the best taco bowls are made in the Trump Plaza Grill. I love Hispanics. So it's like, is this guy not trolling everybody?
Yeah,
I think he is. Yeah. But you know what? I think
punking everyone.
Additionally, I think he's trolling all of those super right-wing conservative people in the middle states as well.
Because he's just being the
who he has to be.
Version of them.
He's being who he has to be to get to what he wants.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if the first thing he proposes after everyone's officially out and him and Hillary are going head to, I'm coming up with a fast track to becoming a citizen here if you're already in the country. Like, imagine he announces that. What's everybody going to say? Mm-hmm. He's already made it past the Republicans, so he doesn't have to appeal to them anymore. Now all of a sudden he's appealing to the moderates as well, and maybe the Hispanic population at some point.
The independents, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
What he more than anything else, because like I said, I don't know. Personally, don't give a fuck how it all shakes out. I'm just watching the theater, but he's proving the whole thing is theater,
and it's a sham.
Everything, it's all theater. It's all just like a big stage, and it's really. I mean, it's funny because I like Kevin Smith a lot, and he's got these 2 DVDs out called "The Meeting with Kevin Smith," where he does like this whole Q&A.
Fucking amazing.
It's great. And the second one, he talks about, someone asked him about one of the most despicable things he'd ever did, right? Like, and he tells a story about how he was in high school. He ran for class president. And the only reason why he ran is because there was a girl who was running, and she was running unopposed. So he's like, well, that's not very democratic. She has to come up against some opposition, so I'm going to run. And her whole platform was like, if you vote me for student class president, I'll get like better snacks, and I'll improve like these dances. And she had like it was like very well thought out. And he just got up there and was like, took it to the extreme to be theater. And he was like, well, I didn't really care about anything, but it was a platform for me to get up there and have fun. So he like wrote a song and put it to New York, and got up there and sang. It was like, vote overweight. He's like, and they fucking did. Like, everybody like laughed and was like, let's vote for the fat guy. And he's like proving that it's really not about what you stand for. It's about how you appeal to people. And to me, that's like a real microcosm of what now is happening on a national stage. It's really not so much about what you stand for. It's about what you appeal to.
But that's scary as fuck, man. Yeah, don't we want to be an educated society?
Oh, we're not an educated society. We're nowhere near by any means.
That's what's scary. That's what scares me.
That bottom third is just so tremendous right now. You see these people, they get their news from memes. That's where people get their news, from memes. Right now,
or click headlines, which have nothing to do with the real story.
Right?
Like it's clickbait.
Clickbait. Shout out to Jeff Warsaw. I know you're a professional clickbait writer. If you're listening right now, we don't mean to talk bad about you, but we're going to.
I don't know that it's been any different. I think it's just more visible now. Like, I think it's kind of always been that way. It's just now you can see it.
You can see it
more
manifest.
Yeah, it's a little bit more visible. I think it's always been that way. People hitch their wagons to one thing and run with that. You know, nobody really looks at. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like most people don't really always look at the bigger picture. And
no, nobody looks at the big picture. That's the whole problem. The guy's in there for 4 years, so he doesn't give a fuck what happens 10 years from now. There's no long-term planning in government.
I don't even mean in those terms. I just mean in general about, you know, the whole process of things. Like Tom was saying, it's scary that that's what people look at, but I don't think it's ever been any different. I just think it's more on display now, and it's easier to
spot it out,
and see those instances because we're in the digital age, because of the internet, because of clickbait, because of all those things. I just think it's
that's part of the reason why I like Bernie Sanders, is because he was running on substance. He was actually running on some sort, whether or not people like him or not, he actually was trying to come to the forefront with like an educated mind. He was actually running on specific issues that I mean, Hillary Clinton flip-flopped almost every few years.
Flip-flopping to me is a bullshit thing. You're supposed to change your mind when you're presenting facts.
But she's just an evil human being.
But I think she's doing that.
She's a career politician.
But that's the reason.
But so's Bernie Sanders. He's a career politician.
That's true. He's never had a job.
He's a career politician.
He's a career politician, but I feel like his stance has always been consistent for so many years.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't know why that's a respectable attribute, because
I don't know,
because people have been believing nonsense for a long time. It doesn't make them right or smart because you've been believing the same bullshit for 20 years.
Yeah. So he comes on and says, the Earth is flat because we used to believe that, and I don't want to. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it. I don't want to get away from that.
I mean,
I don't know why in politics that's like a
badge of honor. Like, I don't ever change my mind. Oh, that's good. You don't ever change your mind. So slavery is good, and fucking women should have no rights.
I'm into that. I'm into that. Second one right there.
The 19th.
I'd like
repeal the 19th.
I brought that up a couple of times.
Eric who hits women.
I brought that up a couple of times when, like, women will say something like, "Oh, there's no good men around," or "Oh, why can't men do this?" I'll say, "Oh, I'll trade that for your right to vote." I'd be willing to trade that. The men will trade that to you for your right to vote. Flowers on your birthday, and randomly several times through the year, we'll make that happen for you. Just give us back your right to vote.
You want this door held open for you?
Yep.
Give us back that right to vote.
On a Tuesday in November, stay home.
I've been trying to get that one back. If I ever get elected, that's the first bill I'm going to propose. I'm going to repeal that.
Well, you've just made sure that you could never run for office after this. Don't worry about that. Unless you don't flip-flop on that issue. Unless when you're in a debate and they're like, "Eric, do you still feel that women shouldn't vote?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah."
At least I'll be consistent.
My beliefs and the laws are two separate things.
All right, so it was that time you took pictures, Tommy?
Yes. It was just interesting to capture it. I wanted to practice photojournalism too, so that's part of the reason why I went down there, to just kind of play around and see what I can get.
Now, were any of the people like outwardly angry, or was everything cordial for the most part?
Fuck yeah, people are angry.
Really?
People are angry. All right, so they the way they had it, they kind of for the activists, they had them kind of sectored off so that none of the Trump supporters and the activists would kind of mesh. So a couple of the Trump supporters came around into the activist section, and they were like screaming, "Build a wall!" And then, in fact, if you go up a little, that's when go up a little bit more. That's when all these people turned around, because initially everyone's facing that way. So when those guys were yelling, "Build the wall," all these people turned around to them and started fucking yelling at these two guys. And
So
then the police had to escort them out.
We're looking at pictures on Tom D's Instagram.
That
just
guy,
in
the
case
main guy in the
anyone's
picture, he looks like such a stereotypical Hispanic person.
I think he actually worked for the media.
That makes sense, though. He looks like
Yeah,
a
I
Telemundo.
think that's a shotgun mic he has.
Yeah.
So
He's got like that.
He's got a shotgun?
mic.
Microphone.
Like a boom mic.
He's got like a bright yellow shirt on with a vest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And a 12 gauge.
Oh, and it's funny because look at one of these comments. What's in that guy's hand? And Tommy writes, I'm pretty sure it's a shotgun microphone handle.
yeah. So
It's a vibrator.
yeah, it's a vibrator. Yeah, it was interesting, man. You know, you don't get a presidential candidate ever coming into Patchogue. There were a lot of people there, and I thought it was just I did think it was an interesting display of democracy, whatever that may mean to people. But there were definitely a lot of conversations going on, a lot of heated debates, and people went out there and voiced their opinion.
I debated like getting off of Facebook for like a week when the run up to all this, because it's all anybody could talk about.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure of it. And you don't see any of it now, right?
No,
it's funny.
And nobody will care come
Yeah.
January. After the election, everyone's gonna go right back to being apathetic anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty sad, but it's true. It's true.
I've said this once.
Process is broke.
I'll say it again. There's two kinds of idiots in this world, in my opinion. People who show up to support politicians and people who show up to protest them. I think they're equally as useless.
I think you need protesters. I think you need all that shit, so that,
I don't
just
know.
think you need that.
I have my opinions on some things. I listen, and I'm not advocating that anything I say is correct. I don't think I'm fixing anything. I think if you think there's a solution, you're probably part of the fucking problem.
Yeah.
But in a country of roughly 320 million, democracy is a choice between two people. I don't fucking think so.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I'm not trying to fix the world anyway. So
I think the internet will fix things eventually.
Yes, without a doubt, man. You're already starting to see that. With,
It for sure has the
with
potential
millennials, you're already starting to see that.
it for sure has the potential to.
Yeah, so that's that, man.
I just I used to have very different opinions about some of these things, and over the course of the years, I've drastically had my perspective changed. It's a weird feeling now, the detachment I have to all this. It's very weird to be on the other side of it because 8 years ago I felt much differently. So it's weird to be on the other end of it now, where I kind of am unattached to it, and I'm just kind of watching it play itself out.
I think it's less stressful on you to have no like emotional involvement in any of this stuff, and people get real experty during the elections.
You're
and they
right.
start to talk about different things, and they're like filling you in, and you're just like, man, I know that you don't even know who our local state senator is.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't name them at all. And like some of these people, they don't even know who's the vice president. They couldn't even tell you the vice president's name.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous.
And it's crazy how many people are more interested in national politics, which have so little effect on your life, on your day-to-day life.
You should have more interest in your local
congressmen, your senators, your county executives. Those are the people that affect your life.
Yes.
Like, honestly, what Obama's doing...
Yeah, he ain't lowering the taxes.
Yeah, it almost has nothing to do with, what's going on in your life. Like, people want to say, here in Suffolk County, we pay a fucking shit ton for taxes. Mm-hmm. That has nothing to do with the federal government. That has to do with your local government.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do with your school taxes, your state taxes. Almost none of it's federal.
Yeah, you raise a good point about that, actually. Most people see it nationally. They don't ever look at the microcosm.
Yeah.
Local.
It's so much more about your local government than it is the big picture. And honestly, that's really the way it's supposed to be. Like, the United States was founded on states. And then the central government was to protect us from outside entities, other countries. Like, they were supposed to control the military and protect us from other countries attacking. they were supposed to have almost no interference and no control over state. That's why they're state governments. Because otherwise, what's the point of having a state government? Like they're not. The federal government's not supposed to interfere.
Yeah, it's funny because when you think about it, the idea of the representative democracy seems antiquated now, like you said, Eric, because of the internet. The representative democracy was because you didn't have the ability to have the average person have a voice.
Right.
Now everybody has a voice because of the internet. You don't need a representative democracy really in those terms anymore.
Right.
It feels kind of antiquated.
It's completely because the whole reason that there were senators and congressmen, representatives, was because not everyone could voice their opinion to Washington or
not everyone could travel there.
Right, exactly.
Not everybody had a horse and carriage.
Exactly.
And, you didn't have 3 weeks to fucking take your buggy down to Washington to vote for something.
Right.
Now all you need to do, open your laptop. Fuck, you don't even have to open your laptop. You take your phone and you can easily vote. You can easily you pay your taxes. I did my taxes on my fucking tablet this year. So it's okay for me to pay the federal government money over it, but God forbid I vote that way.
Yeah, it should be. Well, there's concerns of hacking, of course.
But what I'm saying is that it's okay for all your information, your
Social Security, all that shit.
So really, what's the difference? I mean, we already know that the voting system doesn't work. I mean, fucking George Bush won the election. He lost the election.
Yeah.
So we know that system doesn't work.
Should be one person, one vote.
That's it.
It's not.
It's really
the electoral college is.
Well, that's just a whole other fucking.
Do they get paid? I've tried to look it up.
All politicians get paid. They all get fucking paid.
They get paid like 300. What do you mean?
No, the electoral college.
Oh, I don't know.
Like,
the
is
people
that a paid position for working once every 4
I would
years?
assume it is because here's the thing:
why else would somebody do it?
Presidential debates are owned by a private company. You have to pay to be in those debates.
Yep, and sometimes they'll just say no, like they would do with Ron Paul all of those years.
It's very interesting.
They wouldn't invite him, and they tell him he couldn't come.
So
I sort of liked Ron Paul too.
He was a good guy
back then.
Listen, I don't pretend to think that I know what the fuck is going on. I think that there's too much responsibility for one person to be president. If I, in my small little stupid brain, what I think is that there should be somebody who runs domestic affairs and somebody who runs foreign affairs, because it's almost too much for one person.
There should be a cabinet of people, but
how could one person run everything? It's just too much.
But what you were saying with your brain understanding everything that's going on, no one understands what's going on. It's a fucking shell game. It's bullshit. No one knows really how government works. Like, because it's this does this and this does this, but this one has to check with this one and this one has to check with this. But the president has the final say on it. But really, he doesn't, because his advisors are really...
Because if you're a Democratic president with a Republican Congress, you ain't getting shit done.
Right.
Because they're going to torpedo everything. Like, it's all...
The Senate, the Congress... Like, it's such absolute bullshit. And to think... Like, have you ever tried to read a bill? I did once.
I saw the video of the bill that sings.
Schoolhouse Rock. Oh, man, I wish I was wearing my fucking shirt right now.
You have a shirt in it?
I have a Schoolhouse Rock shirt, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Conjunction
junction, what's your function?
Go get it. I want to see it.
All right, I'll get it in a second. But what I was saying was, the crazy thing about these fucking bills, and it was for a local government class that I took years ago, and they were talking. It wasn't even a federal bill. It was a New York State bill, and they were trying. The main agenda on the bill was getting some type of approval for scientific research for medical conditions, some type of medical condition. But in there, they also had caveats on local taxes, agriculture, energy. I'm like, what the fuck does any of that have to do with the main purpose of this bill? Is to get funding for research or something.
They'll throw shit in there.
They throw shit in there.
Throw shit in there.
And it's like, why are we voting on 45 different things? So the only way we can get stem cell research passed as a applicable process is to also vote on tobacco laws.
It's so weird,
it's
man.
fucking crazy. Like, there's no reason that those two things should be even intertwined at all, and they're not intertwined.
Well, all this stuff is made litigious on purpose so that your average everyday person is not going to take the time out to fucking read all that
it's
shit.
also so they can make the money from the lobbyists. That's really what it is. Like, of
course.
It's all about who's paying who to get this passed and shit. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Not to mention, the Senate, I think it's the Senate, but they're only in session from I want to say it was June to December or something like that. So if shit don't get passed in that amount of time, they're off for the next fucking 7 months. It's do you not get paid for this? No. Well, they get paid the whole year. Well, so they're going to debate shit for 3 or 4 months, 5 months, and then not do anything for the next 7 months. How does that's a good way to spend taxpayers' money?
Yeah,
it seems a little crazy. I would love to be able to work for 5 months and then take 7 months off. That'd be fucking amazing.
Hell yeah!
Sign me up right the fuck now. I'll work 7 days a week for those fucking 5 months. But they don't. I mean, they work banker's hours. They're in from 8 to 2:30 and Monday through Friday, and then off for 7 months.
Right. Let's take a minute here to welcome in Lunchbox. Skanga just walked in and joined us.
Man, around the applause.
What's up, bud?
Nothing, man. Just getting home from work.
Right on.
Nice.
Keep
Like
it
the
to
pants.
Thanks, yeah. I work in them, they're dirty.
You do work for a living.
Yeah. Things and stuff.
Right on.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Tommy D, good to see you, buddy.
Likewise.
We were having a heated.
I would call it heated.
No,
We're just discussing.
Not
good
heated
discussion.
against each other. It was
Civil.
intense
Passionate.
conversation.
We have
Yeah,
a passionate conversation.
The raging against the
That's
machine.
This shit's great. Zach De La Rocca fucking gets mentioned 2 podcasts in a row.
That's right.
Yeah, he's the shit.
Yeah. They need to come back. Go see them
fucking
in a
awesome.
fucking heartbeat.
Nice. How was today? How was the podcast?
It's not over yet.
It's not over.
How's it been going since I got here?
Fantastic.
Well, it's better now that you're here.
Look at that hair. Even fucking after a hard day of work, it's still fantastic.
I can't even see it. I have a hat on.
I can see it. It's peeking out. Oh my god.
Oh, that hurt. Painful hair flip. Cool.
Fucking
All
awesome.
right. I took off tomorrow.
Nice.
3-day weekend.
Why'd you take off?
Fucking shot. I went out drinking last night. Oh.
What was yesterday?
Strip club day. Best day of the month.
Right on.
Once a month you do
You
this?
pay that nice stripper's rent?
First Wednesday. Nah, my girl wasn't there. I had to pay a different stripper's rent.
Oh,
I texted her too. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not there until the 15th."
Oh, you got her number?
Yeah, I
This
got her number. We're Snapchat friends.
This is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
You should request a
we
Snapchat.
have a joint
dance.
bank account. You know,
his paycheck just gets direct deposited into our account.
Can you request a Snapchat lap dance? Is that a thing? Snap dance?
Virtual.
I don't
Virtual.
know.
I'm sure you could make it a thing.
I'm not
Dude,
against trying.
That
Do it
might-
right now.
Yo, that might be the next phase in strip clubs.
No, I like being there and touching things.
You were not allowed to touch.
Can you
sir.
Snapchat her right now and ask her?
No,
Why?
because it's late. What if she's asleep?
She's a stripper.
It's-
She's not
it's not even
dead.
10 o'clock.
She's
It's
off.
9:55.
She has kids, bro.
They're sleeping if she's a good parent.
Eric's dying right now. Just out of the room. Not to disparage any of our listeners that might be strippers. I'm sure you guys are.
Exotic dancers.
I hope all our listeners are strippers.
I'm sure you're working your way through college and you're going to nursing.
Dude, we're trying to
school.
make history right now. Text her. Let's see if we can get this done. Snapchat her. What do you got to lose?
She's-
Loyalty.
You have these things that they're green. They have mostly dead presidents on them.
You're going to throw her a couple Harry Tubmans and it's all good.
Dude, how shitty do strippers feel now getting fucking Harry Tubman bills?
They're gonna kill their guy.
He's crying. He's actually crying.
That's my greatest victory to date right now. I made Ergon cry from laughter.
The currency got me.
The currency got me.
Those damn currency jokes. You know what I need to do? I need
When
to
is
get her
that
on
happening?
Instagram.
When is that actually happening?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know. Is that real? Is it a real thing? I just
That's
saw it on
real.
the internet.
No,
It's real.
no,
It's a real thing.
I thought it was
Pretty sure it's
clickbait.
I
No,
wasn't sure.
no,
I didn't take
it's
the
real.
time.
I didn't click the article in the
Me
chat.
neither. I didn't take the time to investigate. I just saw things posted about it. I wasn't sure if it was true or not. But yeah, dude, come on.
Drink a beer.
And they're putting.
Bro, carbs, bro. What?
We got vodka. You're good.
yeah, no.
You know, son.
No, I'm just kidding. I drink beer all day.
You're out of ketosis and you're out of this friendship if you don't Snapchat this stripper.
Hey, you gotta have some cheat days every now and then.
No, you don't. How bad did you feel that day when you had pizza? Right.
I felt like shit that day, but
Yeah.
I've had beer here and there, and I'm fine.
Shut up.
You're like one of those militant vegans. You're like a militant keto.
I'm gonna have some whiskey.
Just don't play with my emotions like
Carbs are murder.
I'm not fixing that right now.
What bill?
Tomorrow
They,
I'll fix
what
that.
bill?
The
They,
20.
fuck. It's Andrew Jackson. That was the best president in the history of the country. They should have took. Who's on the 10? Who's on the 10?
Arguably one of the worst.
He
Hamilton?
was a slave.
Take Hamilton off. Fuck that guy.
Wasn't Jackson like considered one of the worst presidents?
He was a slave owner.
They all were back then.
But what's interesting, I think he's going on the back of the.
Oh, is he? He's going on the back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. he's
Jefferson
going on
was
the
a
back.
slave owner.
Wait, he's
Yeah.
going on the back?
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
he also slept
Fuck
with
that.
most of the
That's gonna be.
slaves.
Oh, that makes it okay?
Yeah.
What?
Half his
He's going on
kids
the
were
front.
fucking.
She's going on the back.
I know that.
I
But
don't
why
know
does that
about
make it
that.
okay?
Maybe he's going
He
to be on the
created people
front.
like me.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks, Thomas.
Exactly. He paved the way. He paved the way for Yarbs.
They're just taking whatever's on the back of the Andrew Jackson bill.
I'm pretty sure.
All right, that makes sense. And so they
I
can
feel like
spread
we're
it
talking
out.
out of turn here. I don't think any of us know what the fuck's really going on here.
We're just making shit up.
That awkward moment.
So what was the reason behind this? Why did they do this?
Why not?
I didn't know it was real. I saw things on the internet about it, but I didn't take the time to investigate it. So what was the impetus to change this?
I have no idea.
Like, so, if this happens, are like reparations officially over?
Pumping. Yeah, I just bought this
Like, we're
truck
even.
straight cash.
We're like, you got it, you win. Like, we're even, clean slate. We could start over.
I don't think that's how it
fair.
works.
I think that's fair.
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Well,
Our table's not multicultural enough to come to a decision.
yours
That's enough. Yeah.
Yours is on both sides
Well,
of
yeah.
the fence here.
Yeah.
So let's make a new. You could be the $2.50 bill, and you could be on both sides, front and back.
More like the $9.50 bill.
Oh.
So the way to make Ergon cry is currency jokes every time.
Yeah, it's his kryptonite.
Currency jokes.
Who doesn't want to do cocaine off a $9.50 bill?
I'm not used to your presence. I've been out of touch with your comedic side. You got to do stand up again.
That's what I've been saying, man. We're a reality
I'm out of the
TV
game.
show.
I'm out of the game. If you want to film me all day, I'm in.
That may have to get done. I'm just not editing.
Let's talk about
Me neither.
let's talk about your return to Instagram. You've been going hard the last 2 days, bro. How many pictures you put up?
Like 5?
Really?
You put up 2 today,
Yeah.
and like 4 the other night.
I better be. I
Okay,
know.
so
it's
6?
Shit, we'll get it right.
Sorry?
I want to get tagged in all of your pics so I don't miss them.
Yo, you had to see this.
You can turn
guy
on notifications.
Ladder today was awesome.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's new,
Turn on
right?
that notification. You're gonna
Bulk Hogan.
look at this guy. That shit hilarious.
How many pictures has he put up since Tuesday night?
7.
One?
7.
7 minute abs.
It's a lot of pictures after 2.5 years of inactivity since your account was created.
You know, I'm just giving the people what they want. So,
We'll keep it up. We're all happy about it. You've
Love
made
it.
the world a better place in the last 2 days.
yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I already got a
This is
bunch of
especially
like
fun.
followers and stuff.
Duh. Look
Yeah.
at you're
I mean,
beautiful.
it's not as many as my Facebook friends, but we'll get there.
Give it time. It's been 2 days. Rome wasn't built in a day, bro.
Yeah.
It's built in 3. So
You
after
post-
3 days,
Yeah.
just shut it down.
Oh,
if
I
you're not
thought Jesus was
Okay.
3 days.
No, that was
That
7.
was 7.
No.
On the
He-
7th day, he rested.
No. I'm talking about
Technically,
Jesus
6
was
days
dead
work,
for
6
3
days.
days. I'm not talking about building the world.
Yeah, that's true.
He was
Monday
killed
to
in Roman
Saturday.
times, though, right?
You know what? Maybe with my day off tomorrow, I'll Instagram absolutely everything I do.
Oh my God! Please do.
Like
Your whole day?
Yeah.
like
A picture an hour for every
yeah,
hour you're
wake
awake.
up, turn on the TV, like selfie
Oh
for
my
the
God,
TV.
do it.
Morning Jo, dick pic. It's like I take a dump, I gotta show everyone.
Yeah.
I
You could do video too, so you can make a video you flushing it.
That's good. That's good stuff here. Let's keep it rolling.
Keep it coming.
Oh, please do this and tag me and Eric on every post.
No, all of us. Hashtag 6 Power Podcast.
I'm gonna start tagging I'm gonna tag like some celebrity. Can I do that?
You can do whatever you want.
yeah,
Fuck There's no rules.
Every fucking picture of my the video of my poop flushing at Ryan Reynolds. Dude,
that
fucking awesome.
Yo, tag like Caitlyn Jenner in your morning Jo. Throw curveballs to everybody. Hashtag 24-hour Instagram.
Wait, did
Yeah,
anyone?
I'm into that shit.
That's
Don't judge me.
hilarious, dude.
I'm not judging you.
Someone was just saying that it's posing for Playboy.
No, I'd look.
I don't
at
know.
that.
No, Playboy doesn't do nudes anymore.
No, I know that, but
You know what? I'd get that Playboy just because it's interesting to see some shit like that. I want to know what's up. I don't want this to be a mystery to me anymore. Like remember China, rest in peace, when she was in Playboy. I didn't want that Playboy. That was
That's probably worth money now.
yeah, I don't know where it is.
Oh my God.
what about her porn?
That's
Did you
fucking
watch
weird.
that?
No, I've never actually watched
Me
it.
neither.
You saw Paris Hilton's though.
Yeah. You know
Just
what?
making sure.
You know what I loved about that, because that was when she was real popular, like on TV all the time and stuff. And then she did a sex tape that was like a point of view sex tape, and it's like sleeping with a chick you know. I was real into that.
Now, if it was sleeping with a chick you know, does that mean you wouldn't be able to finish?
No, because
Well, he was sober.
I don't waste my time and try to JO when I'm drunk. I know it's not gonna happen. I got JO'd by a stripper yesterday. That was fun.
Really?
Yeah. Strip club day.
Go on.
Go on.
That's the story. I got
No,
JO'd
there's
by
more
a
to
stripper.
that. Well,
How much did you pay?
how'd it go down?
I don't want to discuss
a
my
lot?
financial terms.
Oh my God.
It was more than I should have.
Was it like through the boxers or was?
No, it was out. She she's like, oh, you want to get a private room? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm drunk, blah, blah, blah,
Oh wow.
And
You want this keto dick?
I got a couple extra bucks this week that I didn't plan on getting, so I was like, you know what, I'll just spend all that.
Of course, why not?
And so we're in this private room, and she's like, the camera's right there. She's like, stand up, and she like turns me like my back's to the camera, and it's like this back's a billboard. Like you're not seeing past. Like you can't see her
Back
if
to
the camera's behind me. You can't see her in front of me.
Unless your
she
dick's
just
a
takes it
fire
out.
hydrant,
She's
yeah.
just, and I'm like drunk, and dude, this chick.
She was rolling the dice.
Yeah, she was going at it, and yeah. So we're having a good time.
I feel like this is not
And
gonna be
this
applicable.
chick barely spoke English, and she's like trying to explain stuff to me and talk to me and stuff.
Like
She
what? Like
breaks
physics?
out her phone.
Oh, so she spoke in sign language. I get it.
No, even better. She broke out her phone and had a translator on her phone. So she'd speak Spanish into the phone, then the phone would type it out in English.
Google Translate and shit?
And then I had to talk English into the phone, and it would write it in Spanish for her.
That's fucking hilarious.
You tried to make it sound like this wasn't a fucking story?
Dude, I wish
negotiated the terms of a hand job through Google Translate.
That's just fucking hilarious.
I live the American dreams.
America.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
you
that
should have
was-
called Tommy. He could have taken pictures.
Should wear a GoPro, man.
I don't think they'll allow that. Yeah.
Shit.
Fun day, dude.
Thank
I was
God for
fucking
Skanga.
wasted yesterday. Yeah.
So remember when the beginning of this podcast was about Tommy D?
No, this is great though. Skanga's the fucking.
I'm not even mad. This has been hilarious.
You neither.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, I don't know where to go from that.
Nah.
That's
It
one of
really-
the best stories
What's the
I've ever
segue?
heard.
What's
And
the segue?
We spiraled out of control, but it was all worth it. It was absolutely worth
You
it.
should just have me come in at the last 10 minutes every time.
I think it's amazing that you were like, oh yeah, I got a handy from a stripper, and I'm like, go on. You're like, that's it. That's the whole story.
There was
Actually,
a lot more to that.
The handy was probably the worst part of the story. It was everything else that was
the
amazing.
climax.
Literally.
Somehow the last 3 podcasts, hand jobs have been paramount in all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because hand jobs matter.
Dude, that could be a t-shirt. That could be a t-shirt. You should wear that t-shirt. Oh, shit. God damn.
Oh, Skanga, you're the best.
Skanga is amazing.
Thanks.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man. So you sure you don't want to try that Snapchat idea?
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. Maybe tomorrow I'll hit her up. We'll report back on the next podcast, maybe.
Okay.
She told me to text her next time I'm in Queens. I think she just wants to hang out.
Where in Queens?
I don't know, she lives in Queens.
Mind your business, Tommy D.
Shit.
Stop trying to move in on this fucking guy.
Creep.
Tommy's downloading Snapchat right now.
She's my girl.
Nah, man.
Tommy just wants to take pictures of her kids.
No, that sounds terrible.
Oh, man.
That sounds
Yeah,
terrible.
her kids are grown, bro.
What? How old's this stripper?
What the
I don't know, she's probably like in her late 30s. But she's got like a 16-year-old daughter and like a 18-year-old son.
Jesus.
She's a stripper. What do you think? They wait till they get married? And
Not even where this is going.
D-Rock's dead right now. D-Rock is dead right now.
Just lost it. It's fucking done. And I was less talking about.
D-Rock has walked away from the table crying.
It was less about the age of her kids and more about why the fuck do you know that much information about this stripper?
because we fucking hang out all the time. Whenever I go there for strip club day, we hang out for like 3 hours, and we shoot the shit and hang out. Like, you know, she's pretty much my girlfriend. She's like the closest thing I have to a girlfriend right now. That's sad but true.
Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Skanga.
They won't listen. They'll turn this podcast off if at the beginning.
That shit's hilarious.
Fucking Christ.
So yeah, strip club day's my favorite.
Well, you get to see your girlfriend. Why wouldn't it be your favorite?
Yeah, I may have to photo document this next time.
Nah, I'm dirty from work. I look like shit. Pretty excited to shower.
You can Instagram that.
You gonna Snapchat that?
I might. I don't know. If that's what I feel like doing.
Do we need a waterproof camera for the fucking
My
shower?
phone's waterproof. Or water resistant.
You just got a brand new phone too.
Yeah, fucking A.
New phone, new Instagram, new girlfriend.
What kind of
Life
phone
is
you got?
looking up for you.
Oh, we've been dating a while.
She just
It just
We've
got
been
more
going at
serious
it.
though.
We've been going at it since December. So it's my girl.
You live
God.
a very enchanted life, Skanga.
It's a lot of fun.
Nobody does it quite like you, I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm a different type of animal.
You are one of a kind for sure.
Thanks.
So, Cinco de Mayo
Oh,
Right?
fuck.
Cinco de
I forgot
Drinko.
about
Yeah, so were you just getting after it all day today or what?
No, not really. I kind of had a shitty day at work. Carpenters are assholes. If anyone listening is a carpenter, shut this off. I don't want you.
Shut this off.
And
Jesus Christ.
Where'd
was
you go
carpenter,
today?
Okay.
yeah.
Yardro's carpenter. We're sitting at this table he built.
No. Not a professional carpenter who goes on. Yard is a very talented carpenter.
Listen,
who does it for fun and thinks he needs around the house.
It's in my blood. My dad was a carpenter.
Yeah. Well,
He was also a piece of shit, but
okay. All right. I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it. No, but yeah, I had a shitty day, so I got to the bar a little bit late today, and so yeah, we just hang out.
First world problems.
Fucking
First world
yeah,
problems.
dollar tacos. I went off that
damn.
keto, son. You gotta do it. Can't be at the bar fucking taking a hamburger off a bun. That's not gonna fly. I got a reputation.
no, it will. It will. When you're svelte and you back to 14-year-old Skanga.
14-year-old Skanga was
Yeah.
120 pounds lighter.
Yo, imagine how
You're
much.
chasing the dragon with that.
Yeah. Let's
No, we can do it.
let's maybe go like 20-year-old Skanga, like 50 pounds lighter.
Yo, I weigh less right now than I did my junior year of high school.
Really? What, are you trying to cut weight?
You're like big and fat.
No, but I mean, I was.
I mean, you're a big boy, in general.
Yeah. I haven't really grown much height wise since then, but
Would you get cut from the football team at this point with your weight?
nah, I was a tight end, son.
Oh, you still got a tight end.
Not living here, I don't.
Hey, make us high, bro. Eric, you're he's just still recovering. He's been laughing so hard. He's still in recovery.
You guys are beating me up.
The currency jokes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna remember tonight for a long time. I made you cry from a joke.
Yeah.
That's high up on my list. I might even write it on the board so I don't
Put a big
forget.
star next to
Yeah,
it.
that's my new. I'm gonna celebrate this next Cinco de Mayo.
It was two. It was that and the $9.50 bill.
Well, that was Skanga. That wasn't me.
Skanga kill.
Man.
We have fun.
All right, so Skang, any questions for Tommy?
How am I going to go after that?
Let Skang ask you some questions.
You're more interesting. I'm
No,
a degenerate. You like do positive things.
Ask him some questions. Ask him
So,
how to be
were you in the
positive.
city today? Would you Instagram a Subway?
What the fuck? No, I was in.
Is that you? I thought I saw.
You did see it.
Yes.
I did. I'm getting on my
Nah, I think
Instagram
that was
game,
the
bro.
other day.
Checking up on people. I didn't even know you were on today.
Lurking,
I
man,
thought we had-
lurking.
I
I
thought we
love
had a
it.
different guest today. I'm pretty pumped that you're
Yeah,
here right
I was
now.
actually supposed to come down to shoot, but I got the call that I'm going to be on it. So
Nice. Everyone else canceled on us.
look at me, last resort over here.
No, fuck that.
I love you.
Listen, things
You're
happen
not
the
our
way they're
last
supposed
resort.
to.
You're our main backup.
I'm the reserve.
You win in the 6-man award.
It's fucking great. Nah, I know it's fucking.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be the 6th man because I'm a regular, but I'm not here every time. Does that make sense?
No.
You are J.R. Smith, definitely.
Thanks.
Birdman Anderson.
Want that pipe? Want that pipe? Remember when we did that shit on Twitter or whatever? You trying to get that pipe? Yeah.
Well, you could do that now that you're Instagram. You could slide into whoever you want's DMs right now.
Yeah. Hashtag fucking Insta's about dick pics. What's up?
And not to mention, you are a pipe insulator.
Hey.
Do you wear condoms?
No. What kind of question is that?
What kind of?
It was,
Only with professionals.
because you're an insulator.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I get the relationship, whatever. But yeah, no.
Where'd you go drinking today?
The Mad Donkey in fucking Astoria, Queens.
Oh, yeah?
It is a fucking cool bar. I like that place. It's my little hole in the wall.
Yeah?
Bartender, this guy Patty Garrity. I'm gonna fucking tag him or something in this. I like that guy. Good dude. He's my fucking boy.
Hashtag.
Yeah. So yeah, we have some fun. Go there, get some drinks.
Nice.
Dollar tacos today for Cinco de Drinko. Fucking.
Cinco de drink. I like that.
So yeah, it's a good day.
You know, this is interesting. I just thought of something. This will circle back to our little political discussion before. I wonder how many people that are Trump supporters that are all build the wall, that are eating fucking tacos and celebrating Cinco de Mayo today.
Every single one.
It's pretty hypocritical, huh?
No, I still want the wall built, but I want it built by Americans. Because fucking jobs,
It'll cost him money.
Jobs for Americans. Donald Trump making jobs for Americans. Build a wall, motherfucker.
Mexicans are going to build the wall.
No, we're going to build it.
I want to check on the validity of this, but I believe Cinco de Mayo is actually a holiday created in California.
I thought Cinco de Mayo was
Independence,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not really like it was not something that was celebrated until they were in California.
Google it. Ask the internet. Who knows better than the fucking internet?
Somebody maybe.
Google machine.
Google machine. tell
Wait,
me.
how about if let's ask Siri?
God,
It's
bitch.
a race.
Yeah, let's see.
Ready?
Oh, I was
ready,
gonna ask Google too.
Get set.
Siri, what is the origin behind Cinco de Mayo? Did I ask that properly?
Let me have a look. Okay, I found this on the web for what is the origin behind Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
De Mayo.
We're going to go to history.com that she wrote up here.
Wait, little sidebar. I saw a funny thing. A couple people posted it. I saw on Facebook today with the from the Onion. It was Hurricane Ashley coming to town on Cinco de Mayo, and it was just a drunk bitch. This white girl just
Just a
wasted with her
basic white
sombrero and like eating tacos and doing tequila and just fucking wrecking the house. It was awesome. I thought it was real funny.
Hashtag basic white bitches.
Yeah. Love basic bitches. You know what you're gonna get. Like that.
No depth, no soul.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that noise.
Alright, I clicked the wrong... the link that I clicked didn't really say
Somehow
much.
D-Rock got on porn. You could really search anything and get the fucking porn on the internet.
Yeah.
It's on the Hellman's website. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it was all Spanish girls with white stuff on their face. Siri, tell me about Cinco de Mayo.
Alright, here's what I got.
Alright. Cinco de Mayo is a celebration held on May 5th. The day is observed to commemorate the Mexican Army's unlikely victory over French forces at the Battle of Puebla on May 5th, 1862. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, see full article. This is not really
I
telling
wish it was
me.
like the day tequila was invented. Like, that would be awesome. Like if that's why we celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Okay, so in the United States, Cinco de Mayo is sometimes mistaken to be Mexico's Independence Day, the most important national holiday in Mexico, which is celebrated on September 16th. This really isn't answering our question. Alright, I'm done with this.
They won a battle that day.
Fuck Siri. They did, but it doesn't explain whether or not his whole theory.
Well, to kind of talk about what I was saying was like we don't know. Like in America, we don't know. Like Cinco de Mayo is thought of as the
Mexican Independence Day. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And look, it says confusion with Mexican
Right.
Independence Day.
That's what I'm saying. So I believe what the thing is like this was the holiday of Cinco de Mayo was kind of created in California, representing this battle. But we as Americans have no idea what the fuck it is.
It's really more of a celebration of Mexican culture and heritage, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, ever since 1996, July 4th is Independence Day in the world. Remember Bill Pullman and Independence Day?
Go Instagram your shower.
I threw it out there. A great movie.
You killed Eric out again.
Fine movie.
I'm just saying, today we celebrate our Independence Day. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember the
Bill
speech.
Pullman, best president in the world ever.
Better than Morgan Freeman? Deep Impact?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
No, come on. Morgan Freeman's also God.
Yeah, but that was fake. Bill Pullman was real.
Morgan Freeman also narrates through the wormhole.
The what?
Yeah, you get.
What'd you call me?
You're going.
Yeah, sorry.
You got to keep it on the level for Skanga.
Sorry. It's real nerdy. Check it out, though. It's so good.
All right. if you have to choose a president, Bill Pullman, Morgan Freeman.
I'm like,
Stop.
You-
Stop.
yeah,
Stop.
stop
Wait.
Bill Pullman.
No, you stop.
there's no better candidate ever.
So
All right, who else were we gonna say?
he's president of the world, though, at this point. right?
I'm interested.
For the third
who else
candidate?
who you were gonna say?
Who's your third candidate?
Definitely over Morgan Freeman, Bill Pullman. Definitely.
All right.
Who else were we gonna throw out there?
I kind of forgot. You derailed me.
Sorry.
Jack Nicholson was.
I was going to say
president.
Jack Nicholson. Mars
Mars
Attacks, right? Yeah.
Which is a seriously underrated, funny fucking movie.
Everyone was in that.
Jack Nicholson or Bill Pullman?
Pullman.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Over here's Johnny.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying
Over the
Bill
Joker?
Pullman's cooler. I'm saying he's better fit for the job.
All right. Who's his vice president? Morgan Freeman or Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
You're such a racist.
Oh, what? Morgan Freeman's whiter than both of them.
What?
How dare you? Have you seen the Chappelle Show?
Hey,
You gave both those girls AIDS. They're twins.
Yeah, you know what?
Surprise, surprise, right in your eyes.
Some great New York booze.
Yo, he was awesome as Black Bush, too. Oil!
Bitch, you cooking?
Yo, can I be for real for 1 second?
Yo, be for real, for real.
Yo, that nigga trying to kill my father!
All right, it might be time to wrap this fucking thing up.
Yeah.
It's going off the rails.
It's fucking getting out of control.
I came in like a wrecking
On that note, 6-Bar Podcast signing off. Yarbs.
Adios.
ball. Bye, friends.
D-Rock can't even say goodbye. Tommy, any
Tommy D.
Tommy D, thanks for fucking coming out. I love you.
party work before we end? Anything to plug?
Yo.
Instagram, website?
Yeah. Check out Tommy Dejosia, Dejosia at
This guy can't even spell his own fucking name.
Well, I've been drinking beers.